Welcome back to Love&I, the channel where we go all out on real life experiences about dating, relationships, marriage, sex, where we discuss everything that happens to us on a daily basis as we experience this thing called love. But at the same time, we have no idea how we're going about it.
I've never heard you talk that fast before.
I have. I just wanted to get this going and just get to the core of it, to the meat.
Well, we're talking about, we're going to start off talking about, the being jaded and disappointment in relationships.
Well, before we get to that.
Before we get to that.
Okay. So on the last episode, we did touch on this, how men think that women are bitter, jaded, and actually... I heard one of them say that for that reason, they prefer to date younger women because they are not jaded. So I did not want to ask more on what that really meant. So I would like to touch on that. But we also covered the attachment styles and how the different styles will impact how you connect with each other and how you express your feelings, your emotions with each other, how you handle the interaction in the relationship. But I would like to go a little deeper that the attachment style is not the only thing that impacts how two people are with each other in a relationship. How even that impacts sex, intimacy, emotions, all of that. But at the same time, how men think of women aside from attachment styles based only on experiences.
Well, first, men don't ever think about attachment styles. We're simple beasts.
They don't.
But second, you were talking about how men will date younger women because...
They prefer.
Well, yes, but I've never heard it in the context of older women being more jaded. And I wonder if those older women are more jaded because they've been with more men and they realize how shitty men are.
Yeah, they had some experiences that they were not happy with.
But a common theme from guys is, at least my guys, and I don't know why guys are like this, but a lot of them talk about how they won't date American women because they're so entitled or independent. And so what they do is they will either date women that are foreign or they will get on these dating apps to where they can message people out of the country. I mean, one of my good friends, he married someone from outside of the country because he felt that American women were too entitled, too opinionated.
And this is what confuses the fuck out of me, to be honest with you. I don't really, if I ask these questions to men, they will answer exactly the same way. Too independent, too opinionated, too entitled, to this, to that. But to put it in simple terms or specific examples, I have not yet to meet somebody that would say, because they say this, because they do this, because they treat me like this, because they require this. And I think, and I hope that I'm not wrong, but I think that men have these unrealistic standards or expectations when it comes to a woman, especially when she is a mature woman and she knows what she wants. I think they don't have like a clear idea of what it is exactly that they want her to be. Do they want a partner? Do they want a mother? Do they want a sex buddy? Like, what is it that they want?
Well, I will say when it comes to guys, and this is something that I struggle with, is, everyone talks about how women are always right. And as much as I hate to tell guys this, they are. Like when it comes to folding clothes a certain way or...
If you bring the clothes one more time...
I was about to go to laundry next.
One complaint that I have is that Curtis, every time I ask him for a specific example, it's folding clothes, doing dishes, cleaning the house. Let's leave that aside.
Okay,
I don't think many couples have split up due to those issues. So let's just go into the deeper ones.
Well, so, it's funny because whenever men are talking to women and women are like, I'm independent, whatever comes with that term. A lot of men are just like, oh yeah, that's perfect. I love that. But when it comes to like evolving in that relationship and these independent women having their opinions and wanting things done certain ways and stuff like that, then all of a sudden men are like, whoa, I don't know if I like independence. And they prefer their women to get into a more traditional role to where, the man kind of directs the conversation. And I see that so often to where men are like, I want this independent woman. They're dating somebody and then they end up, the person that they end up with is more conservative or more submissive. And I will admit it is difficult being with an opinionated woman because as a man, you have to be very comfortable with yourself to be able to listen to that stuff from an independent woman. Because again, women are very smart. There is a lot of science, there's a lot of statistics talking about how women are smarter than men. And it's because women are raised to like do all these things, to clean, to nurture, to be organized, all this
Take
stuff.
care of other people.
And men are raised to like play sport, to like joke around or sleep with as many women as we want. Like it's the trajectory's a little bit different.
Ones are men. Men are the entitled ones.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, 100%.
And we're saying women are so entitled when men are not required much. I'm going to take that back because I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. It's not that men are not required to do much. It's that the expectations are different when it comes to what should they be capable of. And when we say independent women is not, it does not equal to not caring about somebody else's opinion, or not needing anybody around them to do anything, or not needing an opinion, or not respecting her partner's opinion. Independent women means capable women, and that's the only thing that I personally would relate it to. That's how I see myself. The glory of independent is just so fake because it's really exhausting. To be independent is exhausting.
But I mean, think about it. Like, if you were, let's just say that you were a dependent woman. Like, back in the day, that required you to be solely, like, relied on your husband. And let's say that your husband's a piece of shit. Like, he beats you. He treats the kids right. He doesn't treat you well. Like, as a woman, you don't ever, as a man or woman, you don't ever want to be dependent on someone. You want to be able to take...
There are plenty of women that have gone through that. There are plenty of women that have relied on their husbands, but not. And here's the thing about women: because they are capable, because they are wired in a way to take the situation and make something of it. Like, women are resourceful. Because they have to be, in order for them to raise kids, to take care of kids when they're sick, to take care of other people when there's chaos in the house. And there are all these situations when things break, or when women are able to take that situation and change it and make something out of it, because I think they're better wired for survival when it comes to their capacity, their mental and emotional capacity. Maybe they're not very good at doing things with hands, fixing certain things, but they're able to find solutions.
But the flip side I'll say to that, and this is a problem that I personally have, is I don't understand why so much needs to be done. Like, why shells need to be put here, or why we need to have these pictures in certain spots. Like, to me, I feel like sometimes that. This is a bad thing to say, but sometimes women just do shit just for the sake of doing shit. And so
women have the vision to do certain things. They just don't have sometimes the physical capability of doing it. And that's where we kind of clash.
Yeah.
Because it's not that women don't know how to do something. But if they're not trained to do it, they know exactly what needs to be done. They just can't do it themselves. So they're going to need a man to do it. For example, I suck at cars. Like, I cannot, I don't know how to do anything if my car has an issue.
Yeah.
I know exactly what the issue is. I can hear it. I can sense it. I can diagnose it on what it could be, I don't know how to fix it. Even a tire. I know how it should be fixed. I can tell you the whole process, but I'm not physically able to do it. I don't have the strength to do it. One, fathers did not raise us to change tires. I wish they did. They did not raise us to diagnose cars. Few of us have had that privilege of living with fathers that involved us in the man's work. But most of us were kept sheltered, especially from fathers, right? They did not want their little girls to get dirty, and do this. So when I'm with somebody that is changing my tire and I see that they're doing it wrong, I'm like, don't you have to loosen this? Don't you have to move this first?
100%.
Wait, hold on a second. That didn't sound like it was that issue. It sounded like it was this. Did you check the oil?
And that demasculates
That's because we
us.
know, but we know we're not dumb. We know, we just can't do it.
And that's the problem, is a lot of guys will just bullshit through changing a tire.
Yeah.
Because guys are supposed to know, and we're supposed to impress women or be able to do it for women or whatever. But when a woman's like, shouldn't you be doing this? We're just like, oh no, as a guy I should know how to do this, and because she's smarter than me, that makes me less of that's no joke how guys think. It makes us feel like less of a man.
I understand.
And
it's an issue, and we don't intentionally do that.
And 100%, like, you don't know that's how, like, you don't know how that's going to make us feel. But it's the same thing with, when it comes to sex. Like, you want to be, like, lusted after. You want to consistent, like, you want
to be pursued.
Yes, you want the guy to initiate with you. And if guys don't initiate you, you feel like you're less of a woman.
So are you saying it's the same thing as if we do not need you to fix our car or change a tire, is the same thing as how we feel, how you feel, no, how we, let me get this straight. So we emasculate you by not allowing you to do the man thing, and then we feel the same way if you do not pursue us and initiate sex and make us feel wanted like a woman.
Yes, sex to women is like tires are for guys.
I can see that.
And then not 100%, but it's kind of in that same vein of, guys want to feel manly, women want to feel womanly, and part of that is like you said, being pursued, being like, women want to feel beautiful, like they want to feel wanted. So guys want to feel.
That is our biggest validation, and I'm not saying this to kind of disqualify the other qualities that women have, of course, with intelligence and wisdom and you name it. But as women, if we don't feel attractive, if we don't feel pursued, if we don't feel wanted, desired, it's there's not much you can do. You can build me a new house, but if you don't want me physically, and you don't flirt and you don't compliment me, I'd have to go.
And that's part of the pursuit thing. And one thing that men really struggle with, and this is what I hear a lot now, is how, men are like, well, how come we can't go 50-50 at dinner?
Oh my God, the 50-50.
And so I keep, and I know I mentioned this multiple times, but men just have to think about it like this. Women have such a much more bigger dating pool than men do.
Absolutely.
Like, you could walk up to any man in a bar and, say, buy me a drink, or let's have sex. Even if he's married, But if I were to walk up to every woman in a bar and say, hey, sleep with me, or can we grab a drink, or whatever, like, my success rate's probably, like, I don't know, 2%.
I would say 1 to,
much
let's say,
lower.
like 2 to 10.
And that's why, for women, it's not. As a woman, you get to be more laid back. As a man, you have to pursue, because there's more. Because your pool is bigger, you have a bigger group of people to choose from. And as a man, you have to differentiate yourself. And here's the thing, there's a lot of shitty men out there. There's a lot of men that don't know how to communicate, they don't know how to treat a woman. And so when it comes to this 50-50, there's a lot of men out there that would pay for your meal. And here's the thing, as a guy, if you're not willing to do like the bare minimum, which unfortunately for guys,
So what is the bare minimum for guys?
being polite to a woman, communicating with her and listening to what she says, paying for the meal. Like, I think those are the three big ones.
So every meal, every date, the guy's
Not
supposed
every
to?
meal, but like first date, I think it's good to show that you can listen, be respectful to the woman, like, open the door for her, stuff like that, and then pay for her. Like, that's the bare minimum. Because here's the thing, guys, like, there's other guys out there that's going to do that. That's just... You have to differentiate yourself. So you just have to do those three minor things. And then what will set you apart? If you do those three basic things, I would be surprised if you didn't at least get a second date.
Absolutely. I have considered going out on a second and third date with somebody that I may not have been as physically attracted to, but because of how he treated me, because of how he made me feel, it was definitely an option to see him again.
And there's going to be some guys that are just very attractive guys. Like,
and this is what happens when guys are so attractive, and it's the same as women, right? Like, at the end of the day, we always talk about men, women, but we're humans. We have the same wants and needs, and we go about it the same way when it comes to the important things. It's like it's more biological. So an attractive guy would think that he has a lot more options. An attractive woman thinks she has a lot more options.
Well,
so an attractive guy could be a dick and get away with it for a while, and so can a woman. But here we're going against each other. Why are women so entitled? Well, you're going after a very attractive woman that has many options, and you are not raising the bar.
well, I'm kind of curious, and maybe you can answer this for me. If you are a beautiful woman, if you're just a beautiful woman, do you ever think to yourself, I wonder if people are nice to me because I'm beautiful or because of my personality?
Oh, I guarantee you it's because of my looks. Guarantee you.
So is that a problem as a
No,
woman?
it's not.
So it wouldn't bother
it's a
you if
privilege.
people were being nice to you just because you're beautiful?
Of course not. Would it bother you if people were nice to you because you're good looking?
Well, no, as a guy, no, but I'm curious how it is for women because I
Of
feel like
course.
women want more of that emotional attachment. So if someone's only kind to you or with you because you're
Well, it
beautiful,
depends who that someone is. Is that someone that is at work, that it impacts my career? Or is that a guy at the bar? Or is that my friends? It depends who that person is. Most of the time a guy that, would have some type of intention yes, women are aware that a guy would make you feel, would do all of these things because of your look, right? Because he doesn't know you. That's all he sees. What is that expression? Guys fall in love with what they see and women fall in love with what they hear.
sure.
So, of course, it makes me feel good. If I get a promotion because of my looks, it's kind of like, I'd still take it. I would not turn it down or inquire more about it. It's one of those things that it's a given. But if my friends are nice to me because I look good and I'm popular, that would suck. But if my partner is putting the extra effort because he appreciates my looks, I don't see anything wrong with that. More for me, more for him.
Okay.
Was that too forward?
Well, I guess I'm a little bit surprised because the reason I say that is because if you, with your partner, with your significant other, if, they're with you because you're beautiful.
Well, the way that you say it, they're with you because that would mean that would be the only reason.
So, like, that's what I'm kind of saying is if you're a beautiful woman, do you ever think to yourself, okay, I'm beautiful now. What if he doesn't like me for my personality? In 30 years, I'm not going to be attractive. Is he going to
Oh,
leave
it's
me?
definitely a concern. Definitely a concern. I have brought it up before that, but you know, women know. Because if your partner is into you because of your looks, then all the other areas of the relationship will lack.
Yeah.
The communication. Like he tends not to really be present when you talk. He doesn't really listen to what you're saying. He doesn't ever compliment your intellect or what you have to say. Never ask for your opinion, which are like very important things in a relationship, right? If you're going to have a partnership, then you have to respect each other's opinions. You have to their point of views, their values, their struggles, their experience. Like you have to respect all of that in order to, I mean, in order to get old and get ugly, you know, you have to respect what you have gone through together and separately. So if I come into a relationship and I have gone through a lot of things in my life that have made me somewhat of an expert in certain areas, of course I would want my partner to respect that. And I wouldn't say that he would be attracted to that, because I don't think that's something that turns you on in May, but at least it creates a good foundation for the relationship. Now, if it was only my looks, and every time my looks kind of changed, like I had a shit day, I didn't wash my hair, you know, like I didn't wear my heels for a few dates in a row, and he's like, why don't you dress up? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I'd be like, what the fuck? You know, then you know. So
Does like the amount that a man has sex with you, does that also go into it?
hell yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, again, let's get back to the core. A woman wants to feel wanted and pursued. And a woman may say no 10 times, you know, dependent. And this is how we are, you know. We're kind of like the black cat in a way. That's like our feminine energy. A black cat does not really come around and play with me, play with me, play with me, right? The black cat just kind of sits back and allows you and gives you signals.
I'm not familiar with this black cat analogy. But you keep going, keep going.
The woman is the black cat and the man is the golden retriever. The golden retriever is like always, you know, like play with me, you know, always like excited and chases after you and all of that. And the black cat is kind of like sitting over there like, hey, if you come, good. If you don't, you know, screw you. So that's how women are. But that, even if they're kind of like cold, it does not mean that they don't want you to pursue them.
So it's an issue if men don't initiate and they expect women to initiate sex.
Oh yeah, it's a major issue. I mean, for my opinion, my experience, I would say it's an issue because if women initiate sex, it's not a turn on for women. They would initiate, of course they do, they initiate sex, but they initiate it after they're very certain that the person wants them.
Very certain.
Very certain.
So it would be an issue if it was 50-50, you initiate, I initiate, as a man and woman. So if a man...
Let's just say we've gone 10 days and we haven't had sex. And on that 10th day, I come to you and I say, hey, can we have sex tonight? I will kill myself. I will hang myself from somewhere. And I'm sorry for saying this. But I don't literally mean it. Of course not. My God, I'm going to get Baker acted. But...
Baker acted.
I don't know. What's the word?
That's right. You're right.
Yeah,
keep
okay.
going.
So that is like... And maybe that is like something that it's natural for some women. I guess it's okay. It's considered okay. But if my partner has not had that intimacy with me for such a long period of time, and he still does not have the desire, then what's the point? Like, how can I feel okay? Because let me break this down. Women are wired to go a long time without sex and not think about sex. We know that men think about sex way more during the day than women do.
Okay.
Way more.
Okay.
If women do not have men around them pursuing them and they're single and they're not looking, they're fine without sex. Because it's not something that they have to have. Biologically, it's not something that they're constantly thinking of. I have to have it. I have to have it. So when they have somebody that they're with, that they're dating, in a relationship, married, whatever, then they start yearning more sex, because women get turned on as they have the experience.
When they're with someone, they want more sex.
Yes, they get more turned on. Not just with someone. It can be somebody that you're just seeing for a period of time, or like a sexual partner. But there has to be somebody that is asking, pursuing, initiating. That's when women start getting turned on. So that's why you notice in relationships, up until the point that a woman has not had sex with a man yet, she's cool. She's good. She's not attached. The moment she has sex with him, then she's attached. Why? Because we really get turned on when we have the experience.
I wonder if that
the more sex we have, the more we want it. The less we have, the less we want it.
I wonder if that goes into at all like the frequency that men and women masturbate. Because maybe women go longer times without having to masturbate than men do if they're like single.
Well, okay, so let me ask you. How often do men masturbate?
I mean, probably at least twice a week. I know some people that do it daily.
Is daily a bad thing for guys?
So it depends on how you're doing it, because some people, like the people that do it daily, they've become so desensitized to sex because they're watching porn so often that it just like...
And let me ask you, most men masturbate watching porn or fantasizing?
Watching.
Women masturbate fantasizing. Women don't often masturbate watching porn. So that tells you that women will masturbate less than men do, but that's because women are yearning for somebody that they know, love, miss, had a great sexual chemistry with, and they go into their minds, they go into their heads, and they relive that experience.
So you'll fantasize about like prior flings. You won't fantasize about attractive men like Brad Pitt or George Clooney.
No, I will fantasize about something that I have felt and experienced. That's why women are so connected to the experience that they're having. That's why they get more turned on after they have sex, when they have sex, the idea of having sex with somebody that they're with. Why are you laughing?
Because we've talked about in the past about how when you're with someone, you fantasize while you're with them.
It's okay. So there's another thing that men have a hard time understanding about women. They're different kind of fantasies. They're very different kind of fantasies. And women have that, old generational book inside them that most men will not understand. They are able to turn themselves on. Women will have sex with men even if they don't feel like it. Men cannot have sex with women if they don't feel like it. Okay. They can't physically do it. Women can.
Why are women more willing to have sex when they don't, when they're not in the mood?
Because one, they really love being wanted. Makes them feel good. It's a great validation that she's sexually wanted and pursued. And second, it's women's nature to want her partner satisfied.
So what'll happen if a woman doesn't want to have sex for a couple of weeks? So the guy's initiating over a couple of weeks and the woman's just like,
If the woman is not wanting to have sex for a couple of weeks with somebody that she's attracted to, there could be like a medical issue or pregnancy, like things that it's really making her uncomfortable. Or they're really having a very hard time in a relationship. They're having issues, they're fighting, they're not on the same page for a lot of things, and she's emotionally hurt. And it's very hard for a woman to let a man in when she's emotionally hurt. Like, it's like you're being, it's like you're with a stranger, and especially with somebody that you're mad at. It's like, you're kind of being, I don't know what word to use for that.
So makeup sex is not a thing.
Makeup sex, it's a thing when you make up. When you both agree and you're on the same page on what happened and you both decide to fix it. That's a great makeup sex. But makeup sex is not, all right, we fought, I hurt your feelings, I called you all kinds of names, I cheated on you, we decided that we're just going to get back together and we're not going to do anything about it, let's just have sex. Like, no, those issues
That's not how it works.
No, it doesn't fucking work like that. It's like, hey, I'm sorry I fucked up. Hey, I'm sorry I fucked up too. I'm sorry I said this. I'm sorry I said that. I can't believe you would say this and I didn't hear it. Oh my God, you were saying the same thing. We're completely misunderstanding each other. I can't believe we didn't talk to each other for 3 days. Oh my God, I miss you. I miss you too. Boom. Then you have makeup sex. And it's great because you're missing each other. You're missing your experience with each other over a misunderstanding. But unless she has a physical and psychological issue, a woman will not go 2 weeks without having sex with her partner. Okay, you tell me.
I mean, it's hard for me to tell from a man's point of view how a woman feels, but it's just been interesting. I feel like over time, and obviously I've been around for 33 years, but it's been interesting over time seeing how the role has kind of changed of pursuing women, because back in the day women wanted you to pick them up for the first date. The guy would come by the woman's house and they would pick up the woman, but nowadays that would be seen as creepy, as if a guy was like came by your house and was just like, okay, okay, let's do this, or
I mean, those things never go out of style. We always...
You wouldn't think on the first date if a guy was to roll up to your house, that wouldn't be creepy?
It's not creepy. It's how we're meeting the guy that is creepy. It's not his action, what he's doing. Because how is it different from the first date to the fourth date, all right? It's not different. It's the same fucking guy. You just got to know him a little more and you got a little more familiar. You feel a little safer. So if you met this guy at work, it wouldn't be an issue if he picked you up for the first date. But because you meet this guy online and you have no fucking idea who this guy is, and you never even saw him, and you don't know if you're going to like him, you don't want him to know where you live.
What about men ordering for you? Because that used to be common back in the day as well.
I've had that.
And had that.
I liked it.
Wow. Okay.
I'm telling you.
You wanted men to order for you.
Well, here's the thing. It all depends on how you do it, right? Like it's nothing like black and white, It depends on, what type of effort he puts in. Like there's some men that are sophisticated. They have paid attention to what you have said. What kind of drink you like, what kind of bourbon you like, what kind of wine you like. They have heard you talk. They paid attention. They recorded it. So when you go to the bar the next day, he orders your favorite drink. He doesn't ask you what you're going to have. He says she's going to have, and you're like, well, goddamn, he pays attention. That's hot. There's nothing wrong with that. Now,
but
if he opens up
the
menu, not on the first date. That's just never going to happen on the first date because they don't know much about you.
Okay.
But if you go on other dates and he has paid attention, or if you say, I don't like red meat, I like chicken, he looks at the menu and he goes, I see they have the chicken you like here. He communicates with you, and then he orders.
So you're okay with a lot of this old school stuff?
I love old school stuff. I love old school stuff because this new school stuff, it's so confusing. It's confusing men and women. It's kind of creating a war, and it's so sad to see it and to experience it because it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't feel like that. For example, if we go back to women are jaded and bitter. They are, but it's called hurt and disappointed. They have been through experiences that have really taken a toll. And men have to be understanding that they're not trying to be bitter. Well, it depends on how they express it. Maybe they've never done any work on it. They never healed. And I would say it's more they haven't healed from past experiences. But they're guarded. Of course they're going to be guarded. I mean, if you have a woman in her 40s and she has 2 cents in her mind, of course she's going to be guarded. She's not going to fall for you and just let you take over, and trust you 100% that you got this. especially if she had any experience in her life and she's capable of doing things for herself. Yeah, and then we can go, then we have the 50-50, like you said. Now, men are starting to feel that independent women are too much. They're entitled. They don't need anybody. They act like they have a lot of requirements. They have a lot of because I think that's where the issue is. When they say independent woman, I don't think it bothers men that the woman has a good job. It bothers them how women present themselves to the guys. Because somebody that I dated said, I don't have any problem if the woman makes more than I make. I have a problem that when her work day ends, and we go out, she's treating me like her employee. She's talking to me like a boss. She doesn't let me be her man. That's when I have a problem. And that's when women get it twisted that being independent is not that you have your own career, you have your own house, you have your own friends, you have your own life. It's how you make room for the man in your life. Do you let him be the man, or are you still in a bossy mood? Are you still in a, I do what I want, I go where I want, I say what I want? And like, that's very, very unattractive. And that's when men have a problem with. Because then they say, I want a traditional woman. And that cracks me up. Like, this right here cracks me up. So I need your opinion on this. I don't want an independent woman. They're too strong. They're too opinionated. They're too abrasive, whatever it is, right? Then they go, I want a traditional woman. I want a submissive woman. I want a woman that wants to let herself being led by a man. Okay. And then they go, but how come she expects me to pay for every time we go out on dates? How come she doesn't pay for this and that? How come we don't go 50-50? Well, duh. Why should she? She's letting you lead.
And that's where, if you're going to find someone that is submissive or conservative or, relies on their man as a man, you have to realize, okay, they're relying on me, so that means I have to pay for
everything.
Stuff. Yeah. And so that's the pros and cons with it is
you can't ask for a traditional woman, submissive woman, that all she wanted in life is to be married and be a mother, to pay for dinners, to pay for vacations, to pay. It's just not going to happen. She sees that as something, what? Like, no, that's not the man I need in my life. So it's unfair to say, I don't want to be with a woman that is capable of taking care of herself because she emasculates me on certain things. But at the same time, I do expect a woman I go out with to pay for her dinner. That's what throws me off. And I think that's where the war is starting. And instead of us being able to accept each other, we're kind of going against it without really knowing what we want.
Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, it's hard to tell at this point, because with me growing up and me dating women around my age, they've always been more, you pay for my meals, stuff like that. But I have noticed when it comes to younger women, they feel like, do you want me to pay for this on like a first date? Or, there's a little bit more, what's the best way to put this? I don't know if society has started to change for younger people where it comes to like society's telling women, hey, you need to pay for your meal on the first date or stuff.
No, it's an expectation from men.
And that's what
I had that too. It was a guy that I was dating for a few months, and out of the blue, we had an argument, and he said, I feel like you expect me to pay for dinner every time we go out. And I looked at it and I said, well, damn right I do. He didn't take that very well.
Yeah.
And he's like, why is that? And I said, I'm sorry, but let me ask you something. You're asking me to go out on a date with you. It's you and it's 5 other guys. And I'm saying yes. You are not paying for my meal. You are paying for my time, for my company, for my attention, for my chance to spend the time with you. And this is where the old stuff should come back in certain levels, because especially when you have a woman that it's independent and trying to do everything for her own life, she does spend a lot of money on herself, on her family, on the things that she has to do. Just give me one reason on a first date with a guy. Why would I want to spend $100 to go out with him when I can just go out with my friends and have a great fucking time?
I do agree with you. My only comeback, and I think I should pay on the first day. My only comeback to that though is, and this is coming from me. I am pretty attractive, pretty good career. I'm pretty charming. So like, I like to think I'm the complete package. But going
Modestly.
I mean,
Yeah, you are. You are very modest.
I'm not trying to like embellish. I mean, these are all
Right.
just facts.
It's
but
facts. Okay.
regardless. But I feel like I am like in the 1%
You're the
of the
shit.
1%.
Got you. Yeah.
And so I still feel like I should pay, but I'm also going to be a lot quicker to cut bait. So, if I'm talking to someone or messaging someone and they're not conversing back and forth very well, or they're not carrying on a conversation, or they seem like they're not going to carry the weight in a relationship, I'm just like, I don't think I can do it. So even for me,
you don't think you can do what?
like I'm not gonna spend time going on a second date with that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
but you're still going to pay for the first date.
Yes,
Why
but
are you paying for it?
It's an opportunity cost. Like
opportunity cost. Thank you.
So it is my goal to meet like my wife, and again, I realize that the woman I'm with has way more options than I do. So like for me, I have to.
You have to stand out.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not just in paying, and they're old things that have to come.
Women
back.
like men that take charge. Like I would choose the restaurant, I would choose the time, I would choose the
Love
day.
Love it. And I would say it's all women. Honestly, I mean, I have independent women. I have friends that are independent. They're successful. They're strong women. And they all say the same thing. Come on, it's like, come on. Where are these guys? Like sometimes a guy has to be a little bit stronger if he's dealing with a strong woman, right? It just has to be a little stronger because, I mean, she's not going to dumb herself down, right? It's just not going to happen.
She has to date someone on her level.
She has to date, not her level, because she's still going to be smarter. She has to date somebody that it's a little above her level, but not in financial status. And that's what guys get wrong. It's not your financial status, how much money you make. She may be making more than you. That's not a concern for women. That's more of a concern for men, because they feel like they're not higher standard than her, because a woman should not date down, right? But the truth is that what women actually see is how he handles himself. Does he have a strong character? Does he have a strong mental health? Does he know how to handle problems? Does he freak the fuck out? Is he weak? Can he handle if anything bad happened in the family? How does he handle that? If he loses his job, how does he handle that? Is he resilient? Can he bounce back? Those are characteristics that a woman sees that needs a man that makes him strong, somebody that she can rely on. He has certain skills. He knows where to go, how to drive, what to do. Like, he just knows it. He's got it. And a woman is not going to let her guard down and say, oh, I trust you, honey, just because you say you can. She's going to test you. She's going to see if you really can. And once she sees that you got this, and it starts from dates. Hey, what time is good for you? Do you want me to pick you up? I would love to. Perfect. I'll be there. I'll pick you up at 7. Where are we going? It's a surprise. Love it. I didn't have to think about it. I just want to know, what should I wear? And I ask, what should I wear? But you know how good that makes me feel? When all I have to think about is, what should I wear? Because we do spend time and money on ourselves too when we go on a date. just to do our hair and our nails and the clothes and this and that. Like, there is time, there is money that we're investing. So you get picked up, you go on a date, and you're like, oh, I love this place. I knew you would. That's why I brought you here. And you sit down and they order your favorite drink and they order, what can go wrong? Oh, you know what? I think that you need a massage. I think that you need this. You've been very tired lately. You've been very stressed. You've been working hard. You've been doing this. I booked this for us. I did this for us. He doesn't have to ask me. He doesn't have to, hey, is it okay with you if you do this? Hey, no, we don't want that. Don't make us think that much. Just do it. And those are things that are not creepy at all. A guy showing up at your house on a morning, bringing you food, breakfast or something, leaving it at the door. It's not creepy.
Men,
it's kind. It's thoughtful.
I know this can sound very confusing, but it's about being responsive to the woman you're with. And so, what she's talking about is, doing something nice while not like crossing the boundaries. So that's why, like you were talking about, it's okay to order something off the menu if you know the person you're with. Yeah. So, just pay attention. That's all you got to pay attention.
Yeah, if you pay attention, a woman will give you the cues. She will...
Just gotta listen.
She will tell you, even her boundaries, if it's not okay for you to shop at her house, she'll tell you. And it's not after you shop at her house. She'll tell you in other conversations. Women always bring past experiences in their relationships as a lesson for you, honestly. A woman will always say, I dated this guy for this many months. This is the reason that I left. Pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. If you're that same type of person, then you're not her type. Understand that at some point, even if you hide it, she's going to know, and that's going to be a deal breaker. So women will always say, oh God, I would hate if that happened. Oh my God, I had this creep that just stopped by my house and brought me breakfast. It was just so weird. But if a woman likes you, and especially if she goes on more dates with you, and she's present, and she's opening up about herself, then she is allowing you to come into her space. Now it's your turn to impress her. And you don't have to do the flowers every week and all of that. But, just be the guy that she can talk to, that listens, and makes her life easier. That's it. And this is like the main thing for independent women. Please make our life easier. We don't want you to go out of your way and build this mansion and buy us these expensive cars and have this and be the president of the United States to impress us. That's not it. Just be the guy that can make our life easy. Don't bring us additional stress. Don't start fooling around. Don't be a jerk. Just don't be a dick, basically.
Sounds easy, guys, huh?
Well, I mean, women can be like that too. Women can be dicks all the time. But that's the whole goal, We're already going through everything that we go through life, and each other is the last person that we should take it out on. And this is how I see it. Like, My partner is not the person I should take out my frustration because I took on such a hard job or this crazy career, and he's gonna have to take it now. No, it's not his problem. He wants somebody that comes home that can be present for him too.
Yeah.
And can be a woman. And women do crave that. They really, really need to feel the woman to come home and just leave everything outside and just be mothers, be wives, take care of their kids, have sex, enjoy it, Be pursued, be wanted, be the woman. At the same time, what's wrong if she brings extra money in?
Doesn't sound too bad to me.
So women, if there are women watching this, don't bring the boss at home. A badass at home is just not going to work, or on a date. You may be very successful and you think that you're impressing somebody, but no, it's not that impresses guys.
Just be responsive to the person you're with.
Yeah, be respectful.
Yeah, I think that's all we got.
Well, that's great. I think we covered a lot.
Yep. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back soon.
Let us know what you would like for us to discuss next, and I'll see you later.